E.N.D here. December 2nd, we saw the announcement of the B&R for Pioneer, and we saw 3 cards being banned. Once Upon a Time, Field of the Dead, and Smugglers Copter. Now, some time passed after that particular ban. Obviously these cards cannot be used in Pioneer, cannot be used in Standard. Smuggler Copter it's out of Standard, have already been rotated, can be used only in Modern format, but Once Upon a Time and Field of the Dead, these cards are also banned in Standard. So let's have a look to the card value and what is happening to these cards after the ban. As I said, Once Upon a Time, here is my personal copy. My personal copy is a foil version of the card. It's a beautiful foil, one of the best cards that I pulled from my box opening of Throne of Eldraine. Once Upon a Time in foil. Let's see the price of these cards. This is a foil version, and obviously after the ban in Standard, after the ban in Pioneer, we see that the card is falling. The price is falling. Unfortunately, because Throne of Eldraine is a mass-produced, mass-printed set, it's a Standard. We see a lot of boxes have been opened for this card for Once Upon a Time. It's a rare, it's not a mythic. Therefore, having a lot of supply and having a low demand, because now it's only playable in Modern, not in Pioneer, not in Standard, can be played in the other formats like Modern, as I said. Unfortunately, the price, we'll see that the price of the card will go down in price. The card you can see here, it had a max of $19-20. The card was being traded to $20. At the peak of the card being in Standard and Pioneer, it was being traded to $20. Nowadays we see that the card is $11, and probably the price of this card will continue to fall, only because Throne of Eldraine is still being printed, is still being produced. We have also collector booster for Throne of Eldraine. Considering all this, more cards are entering the market and less demand there is for those cards. There is obviously other versions of Once Upon a Time. One of them is the extended art. I'm not going into foil for the extended art. Obviously, same thing, the extended art, they are much more beautiful than the normal card. We're seeing a drop in price. Maximum height ever reached was around $42, and nowadays it's being traded at around $21-22, which I would assume will continue to fall as much as the normal card is falling. Next, we have Smugglers Copter. As I said, there are 3 cards, Smugglers Copter, Once Upon a Time, Field of the Dead. Here is my personal copy, Smugglers Copter. I do remember pulling this in Kaladesh. This was a big card in Kaladesh. Yes, it was a big card. It was used and played everywhere. It was in all top 8 decks ever that you could ever play it. It's a colorless artifact, so you can play it in any deck. After the ban in Standard, obviously we saw a drop in price, and we saw a drop in price to $2. Then, with the announcement of Pioneer, we saw the card going up in price. After Pioneer, we saw the card going up in price, but as soon as the card was banned in Pioneer, obviously this is as for Once Upon a Time, this was banned in Standard, was banned now in Pioneer, so it can be used in the other formats like Modern. And you can see here a quite big drop in price. Nowadays it's being traded around $7, and I think probably it will continue to go down to around $3 to $4. There are no other versions of Smugglers Copter. There are no other versions of Smugglers Copters. Obviously, like Once Upon a Time, you have the extended Smuggler Copter. There's no other version. And next one is Field of the Dead. I must admit, I don't have a copy of Field of the Dead. I sold all my M20 Field of the Dead. I think I pulled 3 or 4 of these cards. I sold all of them. I didn't expect that this card would be strong. I knew that the card was going to be strong, but I didn't expect that the price of this card will be so high. Field of the Dead really and truly had a big climb. It was being traded, lowest was $75. I think I sold mine to around $4 to $5 each. Really truly, I first put them on sale for around $1 each and no one bought them. It was as soon as Core 2020 was released. That was funny. At $1 no one bought them. Then I think at $4 or $5 each, I think they were immediately grabbed and bought. The card saw a high peak of around $12. We're talking this when Scapeshift decks were being played, and after Scapeshift deck we see the Golos decks. As soon as the card was banned in standard, we see a drop in price, but as soon as again Pioneer was announced, we see that the card was spiked again and was sitting, as I said, highest $12. Nowadays, Field of the Dead is being traded at around $10, and I think unless some sort of a good deck in the other formats being modern is created, I don't think that the card will continue to gain in value, but will continue to decrease in value. Normally, and this is the norm, card that is being banned in a particular format, we always see a drop in price. The only exception, and I must admit that the only exception was Oko Thief of Crowns, that it was being traded at around $29, $28 when it was going to be banned. Everyone knew it was going to be banned. It was banned, and nowadays it's being traded at around $45. You can leave me a comment below. What do you think about the analysis of the price of these cards? I don't think that these three cards will ever increase in value unless another new format in 10 years time is created. And here is my subscription button. Subscribe for my channel for more videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.